Welcome to the episode.
I'm Lunchy.
I'm Pabs.
And I'm Little Bonesy.
And today we're going to be talking about these darn kids and that darn rap music, right? Developing artists, man, like all about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the episode. Welcome.
Lucky number 37.
Yeah. Number 37.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
We got a special guest in today.
Very special guest.
Little Bonesy,
Thanks for having me.
a.k.a.
Tyson Jai Porter. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Are we allowed to disclose that on the internet?
Yeah, that's
better
right.
to ask, right?
yeah.
Forgiveness.
That's right, then permission.
Yeah.
Ah, man, you know what? I just want to touch on the trailings of last week's episode.
Yeah.
We went out today.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yep. This isn't news to you. I don't know why I'm telling you why I'm telling them.
For the listeners.
Okay, listeners. So we Pablo and I made a full-blown attempt after our last half-assed attempt at randonauting. Last week we went out. It was getting late when we started. We had about an hour of sunlight left before we would have become a missing 411 case. So it was, today was an ideal opportunity to revisit the site. Yeah. We went out there. Andy, the average Joe,
was with us.
Our one of our listeners came with us, and we searched. We found some pretty cool shit.
Some caves and shit. Yeah, there was some. It was pretty cool.
No dead bodies.
No dead bodies.
No aliens.
I'd hate to say like we hoped for,
but we did.
Yeah, kind of.
So, I don't know, man. Where do we draw the line on this one? Do we go out one more time? Maybe choose an urban setting?
Well, it's interesting because the last time we went, you nearly died.
I did nearly die, man. That was,
Yeah.
and I nearly died today. Wait until you fellas see that footage. So, I was climbing some rocks, right, which is always safe to do on a sheer mountain face, right, with sneakers that are not rock climbing shoes.
No, I saw those
nor do they have any grip on the soles of them,
Yeah.
and it's a mossy rock, so the recipe for success, if you ask me. And I went to move between these two caves, and there was a little bit of a jump and then a land on a uneven platform, and I landed all right, but then I started to slide towards the edge, and I caught it all on the GoPro, man. So there was another near-death experience for me today.
When skiing on the rocks, eh?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
but I was going to say, average Andy nearly died this time.
well, true.
Yeah, because he had a hard time, eh? These hills are
They're pretty
not
treacherous,
forgiving,
man.
eh?
They are not. You do not want to go out there in my shape.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
I think I've become a little bit accustomed to it now, or something. I managed to handle it all right. Like a
After one
four-wheel
outing.
drive. Yeah, that's right. I kicked in 4-wheel drive mode. We're right.
Yeah.
We give it one more attempt.
I think
and
we will.
And if we don't,
Well,
we're going
but
to say.
interestingly, the app is down, right? Randonaut app is down, so you can't actually generate
I'll tell you what,
locations at the
Randonaut,
moment.
get your shit together, mate. You're getting extremely close to myth being busted at this point, right? I don't want to do it to you. I don't. But,
Yeah.
our listeners are relying on us to demonstrate.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
We want dead bodies.
I was going to say results, but entertainment's just fine, right? Little Bonesy.
Little Bonesy, welcome to the
man.
show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
No, thanks for coming on. It's awesome having guests on, man, and we try to mix it up a little bit and get people from a vast array of backgrounds and skill sets, and you're a music man.
Yeah,
you're a music guy.
Yeah.
Near and dear to Pabs and I's heart. We were music men at one point, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
we were rappers.
Did we qualify as that title? Music men.
Guess so.
There was music.
Yeah, there was
right?
music.
There were men. I suppose that we ticked all the fucking boxes. So, man, tell me, Little Bonesy. It's an interesting name.
Yeah.
Not uncommon as far as like little in
Yeah.
hip hop and rap now. Like
Yeah.
and not even just now. Like it always has been. Explain the name, man. Like how did you come across that? Was it given to you? Did you give it to yourself? Like what was the deal?
I gave it to myself because always when I was growing up, I was real small, skinny, sort of like a skeleton.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And then I was listening to rap music, and then I thought I'd write a bit. It went all right, and then I gave myself my name, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
right on.
Yeah.
Nice,
Right on.
nice.
Yeah.
It's choosing your I don't know stage name,
Yeah.
you know, and then creating that presence around that is like it's just another part of the creation process, right? Like Braze,
MC, that was me.
yeah, and MCLB, yeah,
Well, yours is very organic.
man.
Like I've never been known as Braze.
and I've always been known
As
as
LB.
Lunchy, right? At
Yeah.
LB, like
Yeah. So anyway, you win that one, mate.
I didn't know we were playing. Where's my prize? Right on. Look, man, I guess the whole reason for having you in is to explore, I guess, what the terrain is nowadays for young emerging artists and you know musicians.
Yeah.
For your mind, what is that like? I mean, you don't have a good frame of context. It's not so you can, you know, have a look at, you know, other people's careers 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But what's it like for you personally now as a young artist trying to write and produce music and promote yourself, I guess?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's a lot of people out there that try rip you off by charging you high price to use their equipment in their studios, and people even record your tracks, then lose them on you, and you got to pay double to redo it, and it's all different in the
Holy
sort of context
shit.
of things. Yeah.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
didn't really have that issue. I guess
No, we did.
We did. We did.
We did.
We did that motherfucker. I remember
In
him.
fact, most of the equipment you can see here is a legacy of us being
Yeah.
ripped off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. Perhaps
Yeah.
tell us about that, man, because I forgot that for a bit.
Well, you know, I mean, it's like we went to do some recording in a studio. I think we racked up like 7 or 8 tracks, and then the guy dropped his hard drive.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, that's
do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
so we had to fucking basically pay to re-record
Yeah,
everything.
that's it, yeah.
You know? So
And I think that's what spurred onto, you know what.
And then we
man,
just never went back.
Let's
Yeah,
just,
like,
we're going to
we started investing
Yeah, that's
in
it.
equipment,
Yeah,
and
that's what I did.
the knowledge. Like, fuck, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard actually, like getting that knowledge to be able to do all this shit. You
Yeah,
know?
that's it.
So what, like, is that the main challenges you feel you've sort of faced? Is that like the industry's hard to get along with? Like,
Yeah, it's hard to merge into the industry. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that either ignore you or shut you down because they only want like that one hit song that'll blow them up to as your producer, or that person used my studio, so they try to get. It's like a
looking
marketing
for their
scheme.
own notoriety off of your back.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I
Interesting.
did what you did. Sort of, I invested in my own equipment and I produced myself, and that's been going good for me ever since.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
right.
you've got yourself a home set up. that
Yeah,
you
a
can,
home
you can
setup,
access it anytime.
Yeah,
you know.
anytime. Yeah,
That is the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
really?
It's the way to do
But
it.
That's,
yeah, and I rent it out cheap too. It's like only like 25 an hour for the people around. That
Do you mix
yeah.
for people
Yeah,
as
mix and
well?
master, and it's pretty clean. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's nice of you to be able to recognise what you went through and then
Yeah.
provide a service for people so
Yeah,
that they
that's
don't
it.
experience that.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. Like
Yeah.
that circle's got to come around, you know. So
Yeah.
that's really good of you, eh? Far out, good on you,
yeah,
man.
that's right.
Yeah.
Why hip hop, man?
It was the only sort of outlet I had as a child. I grew up as knowing, I didn't really know my dad, but I knew he loved Eminem, pretty much, his music, and I had all of his old Eminem CDs and all that, and listened to it, and then it went from, just like that, yeah.
So we were talking a little bit before the show, and I asked you the question, you know, is it known as hip hop today? And the answer was,
It's not really known as hip hop. It's
Yeah.
known as just rap or certain
Sit down,
styles of
old
rap.
man.
no, but here's an interesting rollback here. You mentioned Eminem.
Yeah.
When Eminem got into the industry, it was known as hip hop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
And he obviously evolved with the system here
that's
to what it is today.
Yeah.
And I remember owning Eminem's first tape, bro.
Yeah.
Cassette tape.
Cassette tape.
Bro. That would have
Marshall
been,
Mathers LP.
Yeah, man, and
Yeah.
it was on cassette.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's
old school.
Yeah, man,
Oh,
that
that's
is old
insane.
school. That might
Yeah.
have been the very last cassette I ever bought.
Yeah.
You know, before
Yeah.
you know, really, I mean, I had CDs and stuff, but I
Yeah.
thought it was unique, you know, finding a cassette
Cassette
tape
tape,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Eminem, like,
Yeah.
and you knew he had something too, right? Like when you
Oh,
first
yeah.
heard that first album,
The flow is
oh,
incredible, really.
just yeah.
Yeah.
The dude's ability to you know turn a sentence into something
Yeah.
that rhymes so articulately is
Yeah.
just that, and that's what made him unique, I guess. Makes
Yeah.
him unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Holy, yeah. You talk about feeling a bit old. Crikey.
Enough about that.
Enough. All right.
The next question.
Well, it's a question of subculture, right?
Yeah.
Growing up,
Yeah.
and listeners to the pod know, you know, we I guess, you know, semi-delinquent.
Back in our day, you mean?
Yeah. Back when I was young, right?
This episode's got a
Yeah, this is going to go like a lead fucking balloon. So much success so early on.
No, it's-
I
it's a
guess it
recurring
was-
theme, you
Yeah,
know?
it really is. So like you know, I guess that there's only one way to put it. When we were younger,
Yeah.
you know, being known as homies, like that's.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a label that you really put on yourself. It was just a subculture thing. Like you
Yeah.
had you guys that loved to surf.
Yeah.
And your wax heads,
Yeah.
and you had your you know the homies, and there were lots of different subgroups, much like there is now, but
Yeah.
they're no longer known as homies.
No.
Like and essentially, like from what I can gather from what you know we sat and talked about,
Yeah.
not a lot's changed apart from the fashion.
Yeah. That's right.
The music has changed a little bit, which we can
Yeah.
talk about soon. But like, I mean, it's still it's the flavors just the same, you know.
Yeah,
So like,
that's it.
what are we dealing with then? What are we talking about?
So instead of homies, they're like guys are called lads because they wear, you know, Nike tracksuits or Nike TNs or anything Nike or sports brand or designer brands. Pretty much, they class that as a esche or a lad, or in Pig Latin adlay, as most people like to call it. And the girls that wear those brands are known as lasses.
Well,
Lasses.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lads and lasses.
Yeah, that's like the thing, the trend. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting.
Was there a term for girls like when we were homies?
Not really.
See,
Like they were all
times are
derogatory.
changing, hey?
Yeah,
Like it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
anything nice.
I mean, you could
Like,
call a girl a homie, right? Like you actually could.
you
Yeah.
could, but
Yeah.
it, you know, I don't.
It wasn't the yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
hot button
Right.
topic, right?
Yeah.
But isn't
I-
that the sign that things are changing? The fact that like there is a regular, you know, colloquial term for girls, you know, right?
Yeah.
The same
Yeah,
as a
absolutely.
colloquial term for guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Acceptance into the clique.
Yeah.
You know?
the more, I mean, and it all has to do with identity, right? Like, you know, in a perfect society, there aren't subcultures, there aren't names, you
Yeah.
know, like. So what, you like a particular style of music and fashion, it's none of my
Yeah.
business. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know, like that's, but we're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess it is a positive thing in a way too, though, because at the same time, I mean, you said you grew up without your dad around,
Yeah.
and you went through your own buzz, and being able to identify with a group of
Yeah.
people and having that as like, because it kind of is a support, right? Like
Yeah.
being able to identify people that you can relate
Like
to.
yeah.
Perfect. Like you would argue we need it in society for
Yeah.
the young people that are in those types of circumstances where they might not fit at home. You know, so you know this isn't new. The idea isn't new. The term's just changing.
Yeah, that's
you know,
it, yeah.
which is super interesting. You mentioned about the Nike, and you
Yeah.
know, I mean, Nike and Adidas were pretty big when we were younger.
Yeah.
They always have been.
Yeah.
you know. And it you know,
They transformed with that subculture too.
oh,
Like,
absolutely. Like it was never
that's
TN.
cool.
You rocked up wearing a
Yeah.
pair of TNs or something like that. Then you would have
Yeah.
looked out of place.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's
now
it.
it's the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, how interesting, right? Like, and it makes you, it begs the question, how do these companies profit from
Yeah.
these subcultures? Like, there's a lot of money spent on these brands.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like what's a pair of
yeah.
shoes cost now for TNs particularly?
I bought a pair today, or sort of bought a pair, or cheaper, $250.
Yeah,
Yeah, a pair. They're like new ones.
So I love shoes. I'm
Yeah.
a shoes guy, right? And I like obscure shoes.
Yeah.
And I've spent some ridiculous amounts of money on shoes.
Yeah.
hey, there's money to be made on shoes,
And
right?
hats.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah, there
hats
is,
as well. I
yeah.
love
Limited
collecting.
edition.
Yeah, like
People-
there's a limited edition Nike TN hat. Like it was $30 at Foot Locker, and people are flipping it for like $300-400.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're out of
And
stock.
shoes are in the hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
range. You know what I mean? Like I was
Jeez.
watching a
Yeah.
video on a young entrepreneur. He made some friends with, you know, the manufacturers.
Yeah.
They release them to him a couple of weeks early.
Yeah.
And that's where he makes his money. You
Yeah,
know,
he
like he
sells
can
them.
he can sell them on.
Yeah.
And the same with redesigning shoes. You know,
Yeah.
taking a regular, you know,
I
like a
don't
Nike
get. I
high.
don't get the craze. Like
So like a
that-
Nike high top, you know, just all in white, and
Yeah.
they'll basically just create their own design.
Yeah.
You know, they'll paint it essentially, and they're pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Like some of the designs they put
Yeah.
on them, and then you've got this one of a kind shoe,
Yeah.
and it's all of a sudden valuable. You
Yeah,
know,
that's it.
and there's a huge
see
market
watches.
for
I
it.
understand.
Yeah.
I love watches
Because
Watches are a
there's so
thing, dude.
much technology, like
Yeah.
just the little pieces.
Yeah, that's
and-
right. Not a lot
Yeah.
changes in
You
a
know,
shoe, right? Like
a
you've got
shoe
laces, a sole, the
Yeah.
top, right?
Yeah.
Not only that, I mean,
A bubble occasionally,
Yeah.
right? Like
to enjoy the shoe, you have to wear it. And,
Yeah,
and
that's it.
that's the thing, man. Like I
See?
got to a point
You can-
in
you
my
can- you
shoe
can wear a
collecting
$2
where I've
million
got shoes that I
watch.
won't wear.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
and you know, it just
No.
doesn't make any sense. Like
Yeah.
some shoes of mine are made of different types of material, so you can't really walk up a hill. For
Yeah.
as an example, you have to take them off
Yeah.
because if they crease, the
Yeah.
material will crack.
Oh,
And so it's like you got to be real careful
Yeah.
about where you wear them. It's kind of redundant at that point. Like, what do you do if you just keep them in a fucking box?
Yeah,
Like,
it's sort of like showing people in a way, like we come from a bad background, but we wear expensive clothes, so we try to feel like we're worth more than we are, sort of,
that's
I
an
guess.
interesting
yeah.
thing.
It was the same when we were
Yeah.
younger, right? Like there was that kind of flashing,
Dude,
you know,
yeah.
like you got money. Look
Yeah,
at this
that's
watch
it,
on my
yeah.
wrist. Like
You know
like,
what
yeah,
made
okay.
me? It just made me think of this show, Dandies. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's these in the Congo. These they live there, like they're black as black, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
And it is like the poorest of the poor regions,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And there's this group of these people that they wear suits, and not just suits, like Armani,
yeah,
Gucci,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Proper,
Like,
proper suits.
proper suits,
Yeah,
and that
that's
like
it.
the you know, and it's I don't what is that? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
probably
understand
the
it.
same thing,
Yeah,
right?
it's
The
the same
same
thing.
the
Yeah.
same value there is like, look at me, I come from this poor area.
yeah,
But
But hey, man, I've got money, or at
Yeah.
least
Got
you
the
think I've
stilo.
got some money,
yeah,
right?
that's it, yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
and it's such a strange cross section too, because like you said, it's about identifying your own value,
Yeah.
and being able to distinguish yourself in a crowd.
yeah,
But at what
it.
cost? Like, and that's
Yeah, a
you
lot, yeah.
never think about it. Well, personal cost more so, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you think to yourself, wow, I deal with young people younger
Yeah.
than yourself,
Yeah.
sort of in the I guess 12 to 18 bracket, and you know, we're constantly seeing kids like they'll come in and they're begging for a cigarette, or you know,
Yeah.
they're really looking for a job, or you know,
Yeah.
whinging because the Centrelink money hasn't come in, or whatever the case may be.
yeah,
Not all of them, but some of them. Yet they're
Yeah.
wearing a pair of $500 shoes, or
Yeah.
you know, they've got a hat on that's like.
I call them dandies now.
yeah, yeah.
It must be that. Yeah,
That
right.
there's two types of like people that sort of wear brands, and they're even been distinguished by the young people today. So it's like if you're a Eshe. It's like someone that's a bum on Centrelink that tries to wear the good brands, but they buy the one tracksuit, they'll wear that for like 6 months and it looks dirty. Or the same shoes for a year. But if you're in Adelaide, you know, you've got one tracksuit for every day of the week. Got Gucci hats and bags and 3 pairs of shoes you can wear every day, different days. Yeah.
So the Adelaide's the cut up.
Yeah, it's like a cleaner version. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't have that distinction.
Yeah.
No.
And I couldn't dream of anyone in any of the groups that we sort of were with wearing anything that expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it was the Keppers, right? It was the cross colours, the Nikes and
it
Adidas.
was
Like, it was all the
however you
same
could get your
shoes,
hands
but-
on them.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
it,
Like,
yeah.
I used to have to go to Sydney to get my gear. You know?
Yeah.
Like there was nothing available then.
Yeah.
I don't know that it. I mean, well, now it's changed. The face of it's all changed. You can jump online. You can have whatever
Yeah,
you
that's
want
it,
with
yeah.
the click of a button, delivered to your house.
Anything. Yeah.
You know, not so much in Corona. Like you'll be
Yeah.
waiting 6 months before you
Yeah,
get
that's
delivery
it.
now. But
So, Lil Bonesy,
Yeah.
you're 21.
Yeah, 21.
21. Can you give us a little rundown of, you know, where, like, your life, so that we can understand a little better why you've been guided, I guess, by some force in the direction of music?
Alright, so it's pretty crazy. So I was younger, I was just doing school and everything. I'd get bullied a lot when I was younger, and I'd get into a lot of
Because of your
fights.
size?
Yeah, because of my size.
Yep.
And I'd get into fights that I knew I couldn't win, but I'd try anyways.
yeah, sure.
And it was like a rough area, but I was mainly known for actually willing to fight, and that. I don't know how it led to it, but I dropped out of school, moved out of home to try just get money. That's all I wanted, really, because I seen these dudes with nice shoes, good cars.
You
just
started to
attracts
idolise them
people,
a little bit. Yeah.
And I moved out of home because it was like sort of hard without my dad and that, and just too many bills. So I went and thought it made it easier. So I moved into a youth refuge where I met my friend, which I've actually done a song on. He passed away in prison in a fight, sort of got injured. But he took me out with his own money, bought all these clothes for me, put me on the street, tried to get me a job, sort of like in bad terms. But he pretty much helped me survive.
Sure.
And then when I went to see him before I come down here from the Gold Coast, he pretty much told me just to stay with music to get out of what I was doing, because it would land me where he was.
Wow.
And then like couple of weeks later,
Yeah, right. So you kind of had a little bit of a mentor in your
that's
mate.
it. Yeah.
And that for your, that's pretty lucky, right?
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
yeah.
not everyone's got that. And that sucks, man, that, one of your boys is, dead. Like, and unfortunately,
yeah,
it's a recurring theme.
that's
Yeah,
it.
it
Right?
happened to us, yeah.
It does. It happened on a number of occasions, right?
yeah.
Like the amount of friends that are buried now. Like it
Yeah,
just
it's crazy.
it just sucks, you
Yeah.
know. Like, and you're in that position where you kind of feel powerless, right? Because you're a
Yeah.
young bloke, and I mean you've navigated the world in your own way, since you were younger.
Yeah, that's it.
But like as far as the real world, what society considers the real world,
Yeah,
you're kind of lost until you experience both sides of it.
Yeah,
and so like
that's
to
it.
lose a mentor like that,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
just sucks, man. Like,
Yeah.
that,
So you had exposure to music prior?
yeah. I was doing music at school, and
Okay.
people that were bullying me were telling me, "Oh, I won't get anywhere. This, it wasn't that good."
Got to start somewhere.
And all I thought was, I took the videos down off YouTube, and then I said, from then to when I actually get better, that's when I'm gonna come out all new.
Got a bit
and
of a
just lay it
drive
on
about
them,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
So you had some previous videos on your channel
Yeah.
that you took down?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, because it was
Wow.
getting a lot of hate from, school and that. And then that's when I thought I took it down, and then I just stopped going to school because I was sick of fighting. And
Fuck bullies. eh?
yeah,
That pisses me off
It-
so much.
Yeah, man. Like it's a funny thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things. Like they've always been around, and despite
Yeah.
the school's best efforts,
Yeah,
well,
that's it.
you could argue.
And
I assume they'll always be around their own version.
Yeah, that's
whether
it.
that's at school or at home. Some people are bullied by their parents
Yeah.
or other siblings. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
always a bully. Yeah, that sucks. So like, you know, you kind of, and I identify with that big time, man. I was not
Yeah.
a straight A student at all. I left school early, and I, you know, like
I
just
think everyone
wasn't the place
experiences
for me.
bullying to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But
Well, it was
like-
kind of odd, man. I got bullied in primary, and
Yeah.
funnily enough,
And then you
because
got
of my
big enough to-
size.
Yeah.
No, because I was big
Yeah.
in primary.
Yeah, right.
So I don't think it matters, like, if you're big or you're small. You're going to
Yeah.
get bullied at anything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but see, it's different.
And
In
then-
primary school, you don't fight,
Yeah.
really,
Mm.
you know, as much.
Yeah, sure.
I got into a couple of fights in primary school, actually, but, like, it's not common to have a fight in
You
primary
wouldn't think so, man. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's just
But
a
in high
unique
school-
set of
Yeah, high
circumstances.
school,
High
yeah.
school's a bit of it happens, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and like I went through this strange phase where I was like by default the bully, you know, after being bullied. So
Yeah.
it's like, but not
Yeah.
really. I wouldn't pick on people for no reason.
Yeah.
It was like I couldn't stand, and this is a common theme. Part of the reason I work in the industry I work in is like I can't stand sort of injustice. You know, I hate when people are getting a hard time and it's
Yeah.
kind of out of their control. That's when I do like to step in and bully a bit. And it's
Yeah.
probably not the right thing, but I'm like, you want to pick on this guy? Okay, cool. Let's pick on me then.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
it, yeah.
Like, let's see how that
Yeah.
fares. Because I hate that stuff,
Yeah.
man. Like, and as you said, but like bullying just sucks.
Okay,
man.
so you sort of had a choppy sort of
Yeah.
childhood,
Yeah.
got into a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
You said that your dad, by default, had
Yeah.
an impact on your
Yes.
your music,
Yeah,
like your interest
yeah.
in music.
Yeah. Even though he wasn't. I didn't even know him. Like he left when I was like 2.
Sure.
But
No real
just
memories
Yeah,
there.
just photos. That's it, really. Yeah.
Where is he?
And,
Do you know where he is?
Nah, not at all.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't really mind. Like I've just been doing me, you know, for a
Yeah.
couple of years, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
There may come a time where you want to deal with that and you
Yeah,
can follow
that's
it
it.
up. So, like,
Yeah.
you stumbled across his music collection.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. And what sort of music was he into?
Pretty much just like Eminem, Dr. Dre,
Yeah,
and
right.
50 Cent, Ice
Okay.
Cube. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So you by osmosis, I guess you kind of picked up that, like, started listening to it and like
Yeah.
got into
Well,
it.
that's one thing, and
Yeah,
one thing that I
yeah.
always see as well. Like, no matter how the young person's treated in their home life, like your mum and dad are your mum and dad,
Yeah,
and
that's
you
it.
can't ever escape that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that sort of, you know, that could very well have been your way of connecting with somebody that wasn't there, right? Through
Yeah.
music,
That's
like
it.
as a
Yeah,
young
that's it.
fella,
Yeah.
you can totally see that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's interesting, like.
yeah.
How much of the messages that, you know, like, I mean, rap is generally pretty negative,
Yeah.
right? How much of that messaging do you feel influenced your decisions in life?
Actually, quite bigly in
Yeah.
a way. Like when I was hanging out with my mate, he'd want me to go do bad stuff with him.
Right.
And the only thought that would be going through my mind was like, 50 Cent would do that, you know.
Really? Sure.
or-
Idols, right?
Yeah, like, you know,
Idols.
do I want to be like this dude or do I want to be like him, you know?
Yeah.
He'd
Yeah.
do this, you know, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's sort of like the people of today, how people are listening to drill music and going around carrying knives for no reason and hurting each
How would
other.
you? That's a good question, man.
What's
Like,
drill music?
How would
What
you
is that?
describe
Yeah.
drill music?
Drill music is a very violent music originated from the UK, and it's all about
And it's rap,
Yeah, it's
essentially,
rap,
but
yeah.
it's a very it's got a real particular tone
yeah,
to it.
it's pretty much sending death threats and saying you're from an area code, which is your postcode, and that if anyone comes from another postcode that's like the enemy, you know, like gang fights and stuff, they turned it into music.
And that's not a new concept either, right?
Nah.
Like postcode. I mean, I've
Yeah, that's
I've
it,
got
yeah.
this town's postcode tattooed on my chest.
Yeah,
So like it's not a new concept,
No,
but
no,
like
no, yeah.
like the difference is, I think, and this isn't I guess a statement one way or the other.
Yeah.
The way that we handled those disputes wasn't through music.
No,
You
yeah,
know
no,
what I
that-
mean?
that's
And
it,
like I
yeah.
guess that's a really interesting. You would actually nearly see it as, I guess, it's another way to vent that anger
Yeah,
if you
that's
do
it.
have a Yeah, I mean, it's stupid to hate a group
Yeah.
based on where they
Yeah,
live
that's what I mean,
geographically.
Yeah.
But
So it just seems so childish.
Yeah.
now,
it does. Like, but if you're going to sing about it in music and get it out that way, that could
Yeah.
actually be a positive, right? But what you're
Yeah.
saying is it's had another
Yeah,
influence.
that's it, yeah, it's
and
like-
so you think that the impact on
Sorry,
not just,
I think I misunderstood your point when you said if you sing about it in music, it could be positive. What did you mean by that?
well, like rather than, you know, back in our day, if you had a grievance with somebody in another area code, you'd arrange to meet with them
Yeah.
and you would punch on.
Yeah.
really? It wasn't just like driving along and see him on the side of the road and bail out of the car.
Okay, Pab. So we have a thing called listeners. So, like, yeah, it was
Yeah,
violent.
it would be
It was,
gentlemen,
no
yeah.
matter what,
Send
how
them
you
an
slice
email.
it. Yeah, okay. I may have dressed
Telegram.
it up a little bit. Look, at the end of the day, it wasn't a good way we dealt with it.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is if you have another alternative like music, maybe
Yeah,
you can
that's
get
it.
some of it out that way.
Yeah.
And that way they're building this persona, this stage persona.
Yeah.
But the problem is with rap music, as it always has been, this isn't something new. It's not just about the persona you build on stage, it's about how you live.
Yeah, that's
you
it,
need to
yeah.
be able, there is this sense of, I'm singing about it
Yeah.
because I'm living this way.
Yeah.
And one thing reinforces the other. It's like
That's
a snowball
it, yeah,
effect,
yeah.
you know?
Well, and let me just mention something there. I think that there's a missing piece of this puzzle when it comes to rap music, that a lot of people rap about themselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They rap about themselves, about their situation. And
Yeah.
the reason why is because you understand you better than anyone,
Yeah.
right? And so you can rap about yourself, but I think that if you listen to the most popular rappers,
Yeah.
they rap about themselves very little. They actually rap about society, about
Yeah, that's
common
it.
things that affect everybody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, if I can give you a tip, I would say don't take the easy road here and just rap about what you know the best, which is what you're delivering into it's your persona.
Yeah.
Think more broadly and try to talk about the society you're looking at. Try to explain behaviors that people are sort of, you know, and try to give expression to it. I think that if you do that, you have a much higher chance of success.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, people like to be empowered, right? If
Yeah.
you can offer a message, and I've heard some of your music, and
Yeah.
it's quite good, if
Yeah.
I can say, like, not that I'm a critic, like,
That's right.
you know what I mean? So, like, but, like, I've always found that, and I found that to be a bit of an ethical question when you and I would perform, perhaps, like, with the music we were writing, and some of it wasn't positive,
No.
right?
No.
But then, like, there was some stuff that was, like, it talked about our friendship with our group of friends and, like,
Yeah.
how we would look after one another, and, like, you could send this
The
sort
Central
of
Coast song. Which
Central
is like,
Coast, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, like,
Yeah.
and included all of the postcodes
Yeah,
in it, you
that's
know what I
it,
mean? And
yeah.
you can sort of lift everybody up at the same time.
Yeah.
But, like, it's a balancing act, right? Because,
Yeah, that's
you
it.
know, I guess, I don't know how you write your music, but I'd
Yeah.
write it, like, if I was in a mood or if I was happy, like,
Yeah,
whatever,
that's
I
it,
draw
yeah.
inspiration from whatever to write
Yeah.
music, you know, whatever the circumstance. So, yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
I've actually got a unreleased song that I've been meaning to do a clip to. It's coming sometime this year. It's called All Things Said, and it's about, like, the world problems. About, like, this year it's been floods, fires, wars, coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, crazy year. So I just put it all into a song. Yeah.
Yeah, man. See, people can relate to that
Yeah,
because
that's
everyone's
it,
had
yeah.
to live through it in their own way.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's
a
I
good-
like
that's
hearing
sort of
things like
I
that.
like
eh?
that. I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
Not that our opinion is one
that's
to go on,
right.
but yeah, no, that's certainly something you notice.
Yeah.
Especially now, man. I'm not really writing anything.
Yeah.
Not writing it. I'm more so poetry, or I've moved on to sort of stories.
Yeah,
actual
that's
stories.
right,
So,
yeah.
like, I don't know. Where was I going with that, Pabs?
I don't know. Well, let's ask you something. Let's say that it's you're rapping, right? So we've sort of gone through this journey of your life, and you decided, okay, well, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Why is it that you want to do that? You know, is it a love of performance? Is it a love of the music? Is it a love of like Lunchy said, storytelling? You know, what is it for you?
It's like my passion for music and a way that I can tell the story of my life, and people actually listen to me that don't go, oh, yeah, I don't want to hear that, and they actually get a chance to voluntarily listen, and that's what's good about it.
So it's a way for you to be heard.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's like leave a mark. You know, when I go, I've got my music left behind. Yeah,
isn't it interesting? Legacy.
Yeah, legacy. Yeah,
yeah, right.
That's everyone's motivation is different. Right?
Yeah,
like we were talking earlier, and you're talking about like people trying to get their chance to bite artists in any way they can, and usually it's for either self-promotion or self-financing.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, try and get themselves rich off of the back of somebody else. And you even get artists who aren't really in it for the music. They figure out they've got a bit of a skill set for it, so they try and develop themselves with the primary objective as making money. And you know what, like, who's to say what's right or wrong? I don't know. But I think your heart's got to be in it, right? Like, you've got to have some part of you needs to love what you're doing.
Yeah, that's
you know, and it becomes across as authentic then.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you write a song that doesn't sound great. Like, God, how many songs do you reckon we threw out?
Oh,
my
dude,
God.
I've got books and books of your writings.
And they'll never see the light of day. Like, these things for me, like, I'm real, and that's a question I'd ask you too. Like, I'm real self-critical. Like, somebody can read something and go, that's really good, or I draw quite a bit as well and go, that's great. I'm like, fucking in the bin. Yeah. Like, I just can't handle like
we are our worst critics, aren't we?
Yeah, that's it. Like, you could write a full song and then you could sit there, read through every line and go, no, I want to change this. And then, even though after all those changes, you end up just scrapping it because it's not what you want.
I wonder how much that's got to do with your own self-perception and negative self-talk. Like, maybe it is a good thing. Maybe the song's fine, you know, and maybe you had the ability to perform it, but that little voice in your head goes, fuck you, you're not good enough. You know what I mean? That's that shit. Throw it out. Like, something worth considering, like mental health.
Legacy. That's an odd thing for a 21-year-old to be thinking about, right? Like,
well, not really.
You don't think so?
No, man. No? Given your background,
it's like life is short, so I may as well make the most of it.
Well, I would go as far to say that you're probably in a position where you've been, and I'm not analysing you here, so forgive me, but I'll say you've been largely powerless in your own life until you decided to try and take some of that power.
Yeah, that's it.
You feel like now you've got a bit of a platform. Yeah. Now you matter. Somehow, like, this microphone has made you more valuable. Yeah, not true, by the way. Right? It's you that makes you valuable. I'm not counselling you. But like, I totally get how you're talking about legacy, because that once again is a direct extension of your need to be heard. Yeah. So it totally makes sense, man. I get it. I get it, Paps.
You do?
See?
You get it?
Yeah, man. It's what I do.
Right. Okay. I've come to terms with.
You're thinking something else, though.
No,
right?
no. You like. I feel like you understand young people.
Well, I kind of get paid. To do that.
That's right. Yeah, you understand this a lot better than I do. Like, but okay, all right. Well,
that might be all shit though. Like, what do you think? Was that?
No, that was good. Yeah.
Okay.
But what? So I mean, just coming back to the point, because I guess I want to let me give expression to it. So like, when I was in your shoes, dude, I thought about suicide. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah,
several times. Never attempted it. But I know I was listening to one of your tracks, and you have, right?
I have. I've plenty of times. I've gone from taking 6 100 ml sericals to cutting my veins straight down my arm.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I've been in dark places, but I have a better mental health now that I have. My girlfriend, she's been helping me a lot, and she supports my music. She was actually one of my fans from like day one.
Yeah, right. Far out. That's kind of a trip.
Yeah.
What about?
Cool.
All right. So, what is your? I mean, you've been there You've obviously had some amount of depression or anxiety,
Yeah, that's it,
right?
yeah.
And like it's becoming so popular, not popular, more common now.
Yeah.
Like,
Very common,
I
like,
think,
it
and
would-
I don't know that it wasn't before. I think what it was like it wasn't diagnosed
Yeah, that's
earlier.
it,
So
yeah.
like now I see like 9 out of 10 young people under the age of 24
Yeah.
are like have either been diagnosed or they're seeking some amount of support, like mental
Yeah.
health support. Like what's your call on that, man? Because you've been through it yourself. You've been in the dark places, as you put it.
Yeah.
Like how do you view support around mental health?
It's good, but it's just if you want to, like, it's hard for someone that, like me, I didn't want to go out and get the help because I had to go places and do things and talk to people about my issues.
And it's kind of hard to do when you're in
that's
that
it.
spot,
Yeah.
right?
I just woke up every day and just felt like I wanted to be alone, and I'd write
No
some,
motivation, no energy.
Like, I'd write some pretty dark stuff, and then I ended up just, because I was going to do a full album on it, just, scare people a little bit because they thought I was close to doing it again, and I thought I'd have a bit of a joke, but it was bad, but it was the only way I could feel something other than sad.
Yeah, for sure, because you were creating
Yeah,
at that
that's
point.
it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is some interesting territory that we're covering here. We absolutely didn't. We were ready
Yeah,
to
so
up
for the
direction.
listeners
Like,
here, this isn't scripted. This has
No,
totally come off the
this
page.
is totally off the page.
However, you're in good hands.
Yeah.
You're definitely, I suppose, in the right place for that conversation, because I think like you could potentially have, there's a positive message in your story here, right?
That's it.
So you've come from where you've come from.
Yeah.
There's been certain mental health deficits along your
Yeah,
journey.
that's it, yeah.
You've managed to somehow turn that around
Yeah.
into a creative outlet.
Yeah.
And you're saying you are in your own way seeking support for any of the issues that you're sort of dealing with, and
Yeah.
you've got supportive people around you.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, man. Like
Yeah,
that's a
that's
big
it, yeah.
step for a young fella to be able to say something like
Yeah.
that. It's because the stigma, man. Like, and I know a thing or two about depression, man. Like,
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
depression.
that's it.
And we're having a conversation earlier, perhaps, about strategies on
we
how I
do.
deal with things,
Yeah.
like when things
Yeah.
get dark, and
Like everyone deals with that.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's
deals
it.
with that. You got to realize that. And
Yeah.
but the interesting thing is that, like, so I'm going to bring this back to the legacy thing, right? To the legacy thing, because the way I see it, like if that thought is in your mind, then the option is in your mind.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, all I would say, bro, is that having been there myself,
Yeah.
Today is a lot better than that day that I went through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Like, and
it's kind of hard to see when you're in it, right?
that's right,
Like,
dude.
Yeah,
it's
it's
sometimes it feels
yeah.
impossible to see through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it's at that time when you're becoming the man
Yeah.
that you are, that like you're at your weakest.
Yeah, that's
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and just fucking hang in there, bro. Eh?
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah.
You
yeah.
seem to be doing quite a good job of it
Yeah.
so far, man.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So like, the style of rap, right,
Yeah.
is, I guess you referred to it as
Gutter rap.
gutter
yeah.
rap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a gritty term, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's a-
man.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
how do you describe that and like, how could you summarize gutter rap?
Gutter rap was pretty much made by a bunch of people in Sydney that
Cursor?
got together. No, it was Enter and his brother and a couple other people. They made the Sydney Searchers group, and then they pretty much, because they were from the streets and the gutters in the streets, so they thought gutter rap. It's street
Makes
rap.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So is Cursor gutter rap?
Well, yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, because
But he
he's
wasn't
from.
the pioneer.
No, he was
Right.
he was working his own angle. He was getting onto like radio stations, trying to
Yeah.
get his music
Promote
heard.
a bit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really underground
Yeah.
that he was aiming for.
Yeah, that's it. He was
Yeah.
like, they were sort of inner west Sydney or southwestern. He was more Campbelltown in Sydney, like down them ways. Yeah, trying to get himself on the radio, and they were just doing their own thing on clubs and
Okay.
doing heaps of
So
shows.
is there a like a legitimacy thing that you're going for when you're sort of trying to go, when you're rapping gutter rap?
Yeah.
What I mean by that, let me clarify, is like, so you don't want to sell out.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't want to sell out.
No, I don't. I
Right.
just
So you want to deliver your own message. You want to like be clean in that respect.
Yeah,
that you're
that's
not
it.
answerable to anyone.
yeah.
That's at the core.
And
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
like an independence buzz,
Yeah.
right? Like we
Yeah.
were talking about selling out earlier, Pabs.
We were too.
We went to have lunch after we went randonauting and
Yeah.
we just went for a feed and somebody told us, one of our listeners said,
Yeah.
look, like, should this thing take off and you guys get big,
Yeah.
don't sell out.
That's
And
it, yeah.
my response was like, are you fucking kidding me? Pepsi turns up with a check for $1 million? Bro, I'm selling the fuck out. Right?
Yeah.
I like Pepsi.
Yeah.
But like what we came down to, like it was a bit of a joke. I think it's a instance by instance basis.
Yeah.
If you can get behind a product that you believe in.
Yeah, that's it.
Like as an example, like I don't know if I'd be pimping out the what was the name of that death machine we talked about? The Sarko.
Oh, the Sarko.
I don't know if I'd advertise for Sarko as an example. Like I probably wouldn't sell out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
You're
like,
going to have to watch that episode to understand what we're talking about.
no, he did.
Oh, you did. You watched this?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right. Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, so I guess that's an interesting thing, man. Like,
Yeah.
what does selling out look like in the rap game?
People pretty much either sign to like clothing companies like JD Sports, or they try to get in with Foot Locker. But the only reason they do that is to get pretty much free clothes and free promotions.
Sure.
But they've got talent, and that's what the clothing company sees in a way. Yeah.
Sure. So that's viewed as a bit of a negative.
Negative and a positive, depends on how you look
Hey,
at it.
man, I wouldn't mind some free kicks.
Yeah, that's
right?
it. But
Maybe I'm just a sellout. Like,
Yeah.
I'm learning more about myself here.
yeah, that's it. But if you go with that company, then you could be owned by them. You don't read.
Well,
the
this is where it
contract
comes
and-
down to strategic planning,
Yeah.
right? And this is crossing over into how I made reference to the really real world.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got a lawyer that
Yeah,
can
that's
take a
it.
fine comb over a contract and go,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? You're going to benefit from this, A, financially, but B, in the long run, as far as
Yeah.
time goes, because these guys are only giving you this contract for 12 months.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? Like that for me is a smart business move.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I can see how that is full of pitfalls, right? Like
Yeah.
you really got to know somebody that knows a lot
Yeah,
about that
that's
sort of
it.
language. Have you ever tried to read a legal,
Yeah, I
you know,
have, yeah.
document? You're just like, what is
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
What is this strange language?
Yeah,
But like what I would say is also aim for the right market, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I know
it.
that this sort of might sound like I'm suggesting that you sell out.
yeah,
But like just hear me out here, right?
yeah,
What the people you're appealing to listen to your music
yeah,
is a subsection of a market.
yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Do you understand what I
How do
mean?
you
Yeah.
widen that?
How do you make money
Yeah.
out of that is the question.
And that's what everyone thinks in 2020. Like, new styles of rap is another marketing scheme. That's
Yeah.
all it sort of is nowadays. Is just a way for people to make money. Some people aren't in it for like the music anymore. They tend
So,
to.
and
yeah.
that's such an interesting point too, right? Because
Yeah.
like ideally, it wouldn't matter what type of rap you're coming up with.
Yeah, that's it.
Ideally, rap is the sort of thing, and it's always been fringe.
Yeah.
Rap has always been fringe. It's never really been. I think it's become more mainstream now.
Yeah, that's it.
But what you want to do, you really want to bring it into the light so that
Yeah.
it's considered on the same turf as like I don't know, what's a really popular genre of music.
Pop?
So like if pop, rock, metal, if all of these things had an equal share of their time in the sun,
Yeah.
that means that the pie is being cut evenly and everybody's making money, right?
Yeah,
like, and
that's
so
it.
like for me, that is the
Yeah, but-
ideal
but that-
outcome.
that's
But
not
then
the
you
way it
stop
happens.
identifying with it because it's one of the reasons that I think we're drawn to rap
Yeah.
is because it is fringe. It's
Yeah.
kind of like rap is the music, like don't fuck with me music.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
it,
mean? So
yeah.
it's like totally makes sense. So we
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
What I said was just moot then. Forget about it.
Yeah, like, because, see, I've probably got too much of a business mind for my own good, really.
Yeah.
But, like, what?
You're
That's
financially
a good
planning
thing.
this fella's career. Go on, Pads, tell me more.
I'm sort of thinking, like, what's your strategy? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what's running through my mind. It's like, how are you planning to execute here so that, like, you can free yourself and do whatever you want to do?
Because you were talking about a business model earlier before the show, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's it,
we were talking about, okay, no more CDs,
Yeah.
no more tapes.
Yeah, that's it.
We've moved into a digital revolution,
Yeah.
which means people aren't sourcing their music from music shops. They're
Yeah,
almost,
that's it.
I can't believe music shops are still around, man. I
Yeah,
walked
there's a
into one the
few,
other day.
yeah.
I was looking for a DVD, which sounds odd, like,
Yeah.
but like I thought, Sanity have got like a range of DVDs,
that's it, yeah.
and like I only collect Blu-rays now
Yeah.
because I like the picture and the sound quality.
Yeah.
And JB Hi-Fi didn't have it, and I found myself in a music shop
Yeah.
looking for a DVD, of which they almost had more DVDs than they had
Yeah.
music, and I was
Yeah,
like, "What
shit.
is this? How do they survive?" It's becoming a mixed business, Babs.
What's
Music
shop?
music stores.
JB.
No, not JB. JB have managed to strike a really good
Yeah.
balance between electronics, CDs,
Yeah, they're a
you know,
like
video.
one-stop shop.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
You know.
But I'm talking about places like Sanity that started
Yeah.
as
Oh,
a
I
strictly
see.
music
Right.
store.
Yeah.
You know, like, how are they going to survive this?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, touching on your business model, you're
Yeah.
talking about the platforms that you have available
Yeah,
to
it's
you
like
now are
YouTube.
different.
Yeah, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and then I sort of promote myself on Facebook, Instagram, and
Using the social media
social
pages.
medias. Yeah,
So your stick
yeah,
is content.
yeah. That's it. Content. Yeah,
That's
That's our shtick as well, perhaps. Nice
That's right.
word, by the way.
But how about this, right?
yeah,
The way you're going to make money is by producing, recording, and sharing a new song every week. One song every week.
not like that. No, it's more like it's not consistency. It's more about the quality as well, and just the way.
I agree.
The way
It
I
has to be
produce
quality.
it. Yeah,
It has to be quality,
yeah,
but it has to be
yeah,
consistent.
consistent as well.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe it's one every 2 weeks or
Yeah,
one every
that's it.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
One
but-
a month. Let's round it out to one a month.
No, it's not enough.
No,
I want more.
Sure. So you're talking
get it?
about
Yeah, I get what
motivation,
you mean,
perhaps,
yeah.
and drive there, right? Like
That's right.
You've got a very clear idea in your head.
Yeah.
Holy shit! It's the first Monday of the month. I've got to
Yeah,
get
that's
writing.
it, yeah.
I've got until the end of this week to polish a rhyme because next week I start pre-production on this.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
following week I'm recording it, and the
Yeah.
following week I'm mastering this.
And not
So-
only that, it's like you segment your week. You
Yeah,
know,
I
like
get what you mean. Yeah.
Thursday you're building the track.
Yeah.
You know, Friday afternoon, evening, you
Yeah,
finish the track.
Yeah,
do you
I
know
do
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
Like Saturday morning, you record it or whatever.
Yeah,
do you know what I
that's
mean?
it,
Like it's
yeah.
like boom, boom, boom.
We
like
talked
work,
about
bro.
this,
This
right?
is work. You know.
the law of attraction.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to take a quick break
Yeah.
and thank our subscriber base. But,
nice.
but thank you too, Pablo, right? You brought
Right.
something to the table last
Oh
week.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. We should
We're
touch on
talking
that.
about the law of attraction.
That's
and we
right.
set a goal for ourselves
Yeah.
that we would precipice the 100 subscriber mark on YouTube because that's our weakest platform by far.
Yeah.
And that we would do that by today.
Yeah.
Well, we're proud to announce we are sitting at, what are we, 102,
102.
right?
So
and that was weird
It
because
doesn't-
like how do you will something into
Yeah.
existence?
That's it.
it doesn't sound like much, right? Because
No,
we
it
went
doesn't.
from 95.
We went from 95 when
to
we recorded
102,
the last episode,
right?
and
Yeah.
but that 95
But what
had
people
been
don't
sitting there
understand,
for
that's
a bit.
right. That 95 had been there for probably 4 weeks.
Yeah, it
like-
kind of went stagnant.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we put it out there. We're like, fuck
Yeah.
it. You know
It's
what?
like,
By
let's
next
commit.
week,
You
this
know?
is what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
not hyper, bro.
No,
this
not
is the
even.
weirdest
It's
thing. eh?
mental.
Just mental. Like, woke up. Thank you. We've got 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
We've got 100 subscribers. I'm fucking so thankful we've got 100 subscribers.
Every
Munchy
day.
too. Every
Yeah.
day. Every spare minute.
Yeah.
And then
It
like,
happened.
Yeah.
It happened,
Yeah.
bro.
And like as a result, you're here.
Yeah, that's
Right?
Yeah, well, that was part of my actions that I took. Like,
Yeah,
I posted on the Central Coast community page.
Yeah.
And, like, we you know, it's all happened. It's all
Yeah,
happened. You were
that's
one
it.
of the subscribers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like law of attraction.
Yeah. That's it.
Start thinking positive things around your music and what you want to achieve, and start focusing on it in
Very
your head.
definite goals, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So,
Can't talk
have you
enough
had
about
any?
that.
Have you had some big win? That was a very good point, Lunchy, and I think it was very, very worth.
I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
I wish we had the applause button still. We don't have the applause button.
People are probably wondering about my goal.
Oh, that's right, because Lunchy set himself
I had a
goal.
different goal. I was
Yeah.
like, this week, I'm just going to find 10 grand.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I?
No.
Well, maybe I did.
Oh, maybe you're not telling me.
So,
Was it
no,
Holding out.
I didn't. I'm all shit. I didn't. I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
The first day I was like 10 grand. Just visualizing finding
Yeah.
10 grand. I was with it.
Yeah.
Right. I was in a state of 10 grand zen.
Yeah.
Right. And then the next day I was like, fuck, we're still at 95 subscribers. I'm going to start focusing
yeah.
on
This is the weirdest thing.
this 100 subscriber thing.
Yeah.
And so I started directing all my energy into that.
Yeah.
And then like that worked. So I was like, Pabs and I came to a conclusion. We're like, okay, if we set a goal, it needs to be the same goal so that we can put double the amount of focus on that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it worked.
It worked.
So forget my 10 grand.
Anyway, yeah, okay. So, Bonesy, have you had any big wins so far, like in terms of engagement with your
Personal
music
wins,
and
like what are you considering like your highlights so far?
the highlight reel, the Bonesy highlight reel?
I'd say I've got a few good features with some well-known names on the
Nice.
Central Coast and that.
Yeah.
And he's now my friend that we do recording and that sometimes with
Right
when he's
on.
up these ways.
Yeah.
It's Big Tiny.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's all right. Yeah, he's been keeping me.
Shout out to
on
Big
straight.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
He's been
Nice.
keeping me on the straight and narrow doing music, and same with my missus. She's been helping me with my music as well.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to your missus as
Yeah.
well, man. I'm all for
Yeah.
when people get together and support one
That's
another.
it,
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
that's real, man.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think me and Big Tiny's one take we did hit 1.1k in a month.
yeah, right.
We kept climbing every day.
That's
yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
dude.
And was that on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, like, now let me ask you, how many tracks have you got on YouTube?
I've probably only got about 4 or 5. Yeah.
See, this is
This is where Pablo lectures you.
ye shall produce. Yeah, dude. Content is money.
Yeah.
That's the way you got to look at it, bro.
Yeah, that's
and I know
it.
it's if it's selling out, it's selling out to the timeline. That's all it is. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
it's selling out to your ability to commit to putting a track out every whatever it is that you
it's
set.
hard work, right? But I don't
Dude,
see
it
anything
is.
negative about that. Like that just shows the dedication to your craft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You know,
it.
somebody that can be regimental in the way they look at it and
Yeah.
like not lose the love for it, but view it as a business.
Yeah,
that's
that's
where
it.
you want to be right
Yeah,
there, right?
Yeah. I got some instrumentals, bro. If you want to
Yeah.
fucking use some of those, and like, I'll just
Yeah,
license
that'd
this
be
to you,
hectic.
bro. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't want any money for
No,
it. You know
man,
what I mean?
Maybe right,
we're
yeah.
all about supporting people. So
Yeah,
like
so-
that'll
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, that's cool.
All right, so tell us about your generation. Like, so this is more general questions, a little bit outside of I guess music, because like when we were younger, like it was about smoking marijuana,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
It really was,
it
wasn't it?
really was like that was
Yeah.
that was kind of like the
Drinking,
worst thing you could
smoking,
do.
That's still around.
partying,
Yeah.
girls,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I guess a lot of those things are still the same.
Yeah.
But,
like,
there's more
there's
now,
more
right? Like, there's more to it.
sophisticated and addictive
Yeah. That's
drugs,
it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So most people are either on ice, weed, or Xannies and lean. Like, you know, people try promote that through their music. And,
so, like, that's interesting.
What
man.
was that?
Like,
What was the last
lean,
thing?
right? So lean was never popular here at all when
Yeah.
we were younger, at all.
Yeah.
So lean is a concoction, Pabs. You're
I've got
gonna
no idea
learn
what
something
this is.
today, Pabs.
Yeah.
Go on, Bonesy, tell Pabs.
So you can mix it 3 or 4 different ways. It's pretty much cough syrup, but it gives you like kidney stones and that. That's the long-term effects.
This is a dissociative drug, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Ricodine, which is the main
Right.
base, and then you can
Yeah.
either mix it with Phenergan Alexa, which is like what helps babies sleep and that. It's all like downers.
Yeah.
And then people take Xanax tablets with a bit of codeine or lean, as what they call it. Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty much codeine, paracetamol.
It's just another
stuff.
way to get
Yeah.
high, right?
Yeah,
like
that's it,
essentially.
Yeah, but it's a
the
very
problem
particular
is,
high,
Yeah,
right?
that's
It's
it,
a
yeah.
dissociative,
It's,
like, so...
Same as heroin, pretty much,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
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 And like you said, the ongoing health effects of something like that, like that's really stuffing
Messes
yourself
you
up,
Yeah.
right?
And like the Xanax tablets, you black out for hours, so you could do anything. Like, I've heard of people taking them and winding up doing life in jail for killing someone.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
man,
they
there was that
don't
case
remember.
like a
Yeah.
couple of years back, man. Like a dude broke into a
Yeah.
family home and beat a baby to death.
Yeah.
Man, had no idea
Till he
what he
woke
was
up.
doing. Like I remember that story
Yeah.
shocked me, man. I was
Yeah.
like, holy smokes! Like, and I had a string of break-ins after that,
Yeah.
right? Like, which was odd.
Yeah.
I was out the front having a cigarette, and there's a small patio at my old house. Like,
Yeah.
it was only 2 or 3 steps up to the deck,
Yeah.
which was on the front door. And I used to go out there to smoke, and I was having a cigarette. And, like, with that story fresh in your mind, you're kind of
Yeah,
wary.
that's it.
And, like, I went to Ash,
Yeah.
and, like, I noticed something move.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? Now,
Yeah.
I'd been drinking Bundy rum all night,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
maybe I don't know,
Yeah, a bit
little
drunk.
bit drunk or whatever. And anyways, I thought, you know what I'm going to do? Because I looked at it was definitely a person.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to drop my cigarette. Right. And like he like you see someone like moving to get this cigarette butt off him.
Yeah.
I was like, I know I got my kids in the house.
Yeah.
I got my wife in the house.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I have only one mode at that point,
Yeah.
and it's fucking Magilla Gorilla,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what
That's
the
it.
fuck are you doing there? And he's like, he does this one to me. He goes, shh.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You're at my house. Telling me to. Right. I start marching down the stairs. He says to me, he does this one. He goes, shh, I'm hiding. I said, you're going to get a hiding. And then he gets up, bro. He got up and he's like, I'm sorry. And he's running down the street. Now, I don't know what he was doing, right? I have no idea. I don't care. But he was like in my front, and like it just made me super, super wary of people around me. Like this is late at night, you know what I mean? Like, and that's
You
like,
have some weird experiences.
I
bro,
do,
eh?
man. Like
Yeah.
strange things happen to me a lot. So like, but like what I'm saying is like that's the freakiest thing when you hear a story like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Like
what I
when
mean,
someone's
yeah.
under the influence of this type of shit,
Yeah.
they don't even know.
It's like drinking too much alcohol and blacking out, pretty much.
Yeah.
But the long-term effects, you can even get real bad depression from it. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
you're meddling
so,
with your own mind.
Yeah,
at
that's
that
it.
point,
Yeah.
right?
Pushing to the limits.
Yeah, man.
look, I guess these drugs were around when we were growing up.
Lean's an American thing, though.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
But like the availability and the knowledge around them is what's really
Yeah.
building. So in terms of the people that you know, like how badly does say ice
Yeah.
affect?
It's really bad,
Yeah.
especially around this area. Like if you go into Gosford down at, Kibble Park, I'm pretty sure you've heard of that
Well,
place.
Kibble Park, man, when we were young, that was like the heroin
Yeah,
hotspot.
that's it,
But now
yeah.
it's like the ice hotspot.
Yeah, people are going around twirling their hair and to the stars,
Sure,
in
sure,
the middle
they're
of the
just
night.
buzzing
Yeah,
out, doing their own
yeah.
thing.
And
Wow.
you see around Gosford how there's
What is it about Kibble Park,
I know,
man?
yeah.
Like, it's transcended
Yeah, I
amongst
know, yeah.
generations.
Yeah,
right?
that's
yeah.
it.
Multi-generation.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a
Hot
just
spot.
like-
You'd think it wouldn't be,
Yeah.
though, because they installed all that infrastructure there. There's
Yeah,
like a
that's
kid's
it.
playground there now.
Yeah.
When we were younger, that was never there. It was like a fountain on one side and a
Yeah.
rock on the other side.
Oh,
there was
really?
nothing in between. It was
Yeah,
just an
wow.
oval.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
There was the pond.
there was a
Yeah.
pond.
And
Dude, there was
koi
a pond.
carp in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
there'll be
God
some
knows
drug
what
aided
happened to
koi
those
carp. They
things.
probably got eaten by a junkie, right?
Fished out.
It's real bad. Like they had this when I was sort of hanging around there because had no life back then. I was
Sure.
bored. There was all these homeless people. Like police would rock up in 3-4 vans. All the homeless people that were in that park would get up and have to
Scatter.
get told to leave.
Oh,
or
true.
they'd scatter.
Yeah.
And then they built their own little like homeless nest up behind the courthouse in the
Oh, yeah.
forest. The only reason I know that, I was like wandering around drunk in Gosford, heard a noise, and I walked in there, and there's just lights from every direction. So I
Yeah.
ran the other way.
Ah, right.
Crazy
Far out.
experience.
Yeah.
Talks a lot about how we deal with minority groups in society, right? Like, and marginalised
Yeah.
people in
He-
society.
Here's a question,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever slept on the street?
Yeah, I have. I've slept. I've used like pizza boxes as a fucking bed, pretty
Yeah,
much.
sure,
or I've
sure.
slept on the beaches, or slept in shopping centres, and pretty much park toilets. Yeah, crazy.
So how much of that do you feel, having lived it, a result of the decisions you've made, or as a conscious decision to live on the street?
It sort of was a conscious decision for me because I had sort of two choices. It was either keep going the way I was going, everything was sort of slowly going downhill, and if I didn't do something to change my life, I would have still stayed in that same position, still, no money, I just didn't want to do that, so it was either go homeless for a little bit and make it, or just go back to what I was doing,
Right.
So, it's a hell of a choice to have to
Yeah,
make,
that's it.
right? Like, but I respect it. I mean, talk
I
about
respect that, absolutely.
burning bridges, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
it.
don't have a way back.
No,
you
that's
have to
it.
move forward, and that's
Because I've got a theory that anyone who lives on the streets in Australia does it by choice.
That's it.
Like,
now
you might disagree with
I
me.
can argue with that point.
You can argue
like,
with me.
there are circumstances, there are mitigating factors, right? Like, as an example, so I work with a lot of homeless people, not just young people, but like cross section of the community, and like some of them, like they live homeless because their mental health issues won't allow them to interact with services that can change that for them, and they disconnected from family, and they don't have a support network. Now, if you've got like paranoid schizophrenia, you don't trust people.
That's it.
So, like, who is okay? Yeah, you say you're from housing, but are you really recording this conversation? And there's, you know what I mean? Like, there are mental health issues. That's why homelessness and mental health in Australia are so tightly connected. Usually, you'll find one and the other will be there. Usually, not all, right? So, like, choice. I don't know if I'd use that word, dude. It's strong.
Okay. So,
But yeah,
all
it's
right.
a factor in. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but like in your case, as an example, I mean, you made a choice.
That's
and there
it.
are probably lots of other people that are making similar choices.
That's it.
but your choice was very specific, to live on the street for a period of time. Right, to get yourself clean, to do like, to break out of the patterns that you'd been living on. Right. I think that people who like live on the streets long term, that for sure has to be a choice.
Once again, I would say, sometimes. I don't know if we can say definitively.
So, would you? What do you reckon in terms of your generation is the biggest challenge that's facing the generation?
Probably just people getting influenced by the wrong type of music. That's sort of it, because some type of music, people are saying do it like, well, they've done all this criminality, and then it makes that person go, oh, if I want to be cool like that person, sort of bad influence. But they're not really promoting that for an influence, they're just telling their life stories. So it's like a contradiction in its own
Once
little way.
again, right, it's like that idolizing thing.
Yeah,
like
that's
you
it,
shared
idolising.
one of your experiences where you're like, oh,
It's
yeah,
like
I can
me,
relate to this musician because if I do this, they've done that.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's like,
it,
100%, man.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, look, I don't know. I feel like
Gay references. I want to talk about gay references.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right.
So, like,
I thought we were above that.
yeah, you would think so, Pabs. Come on, man. Episode 37. You know, hip hop music and rap music, whatever you want to call it, of old, made a real segue as far as if there was someone you wanted to disrespect, you know, they got the gay label. You know, there was all there was you know, there was derogatory remarks made about your opponent and their sexuality, whether they were gay, straight, or fucking otherwise. You didn't know, like, it was just part of the culture. And like, not. And what worries me about that is there was never a lot of thought that went into it. It was just something you said. You know, it wasn't. You weren't necessarily looking to rip off gay people. You just knew it was going to get under someone's skin, right? And so, like, how present is that now?
It's actually sort of not really present, because if you say, you know, oh, you're gay, most people on the internet it's not also on the internet in person. Everyone's now, real offensive, and hate on you. It's
not
like a gay
socially
hate.
acceptable now to insult someone based on their sexuality or their gender, and I feel like that's probably a positive thing, right?
It's a positive,
you're closing that spectrum for the bully. They're losing ground. Like, oh shit, can't use that now. Like,
but in that itself, all those people that are being offended by it are bullies because they go at that person. Gay hate crime.
It's a strange thing, right? Like, we've talked about that in the podcast about these people who are. I really wish we had that Greta button now.
How dare you?
How dare you? Right? Like
that was so much better than my how dare you.
that was I was going to make a joke that wasn't appropriate then either. I probably would have been bullied, right? So, like,
talking of,
you bang on the money there, man. Like, it's like, hang on, you're bullying someone for bullying.
That's it. That's
like,
it.
That doesn't make a great deal of sense. Like, I thought your approach may be different. It's strange, man. It's a strange new sort of a...
It's like the world today, they go, it's just so different.
People are offended, right?
Yeah, that's
people
it.
Are really offended.
People are really offended. Like, instead of being, you know, going to Mardi Gras with gay people, people are like sort of hunting that down to stop it, like COVID, how it's stopping shows and stuff. People are trying to stop it, or those people themselves, the gay people, are trying to stop like a straight people's protest on something. You know, it's all like very twisted. And
this is what I say, boys. Just lose interest in everything. It's much easier. Right? Like, I don't think I've been in the crosshairs of anybody yet. I don't think so. I think I conduct myself in a way that lets you know equally to the next person, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, and I think that's the really, like, I don't know, like, I think what it is for me, I just haven't found somewhere where I need to draw a line. You know, like, I don't believe in something, like, we've talked about, we haven't touched on pedophilia on this show, right?
Yeah, that's
But that's somewhere for me where I think, like, okay, I can read as much as I like, I can study as much, but, like, I have to draw a line. And me and my older brother were actually having a conversation. I was like, you know, how are we going to deal with this problem as a society if we can't even sit and talk about it rationally between us? Because there's always that feeling of fucking yuck, like, who wants to talk? But we're never going to be able to deal with it because we can't talk about it.
Don't
like,
talk about that.
I was trying to explain to him my theory on the whole thing, and like, it's... Look, man, I can't wrap my mind around. I don't think anybody who isn't affected in that way can. But, like, my older brother's like, you're full of shit at the end of the conversation. I'm like, how so? You're challenging me. And he's like, dude,
come at me.
If some, like, touch wood, like, if something ever happened to your children, what would you do? I was like, I'd kill them. I would murder them, and that is something I have no hesitation or qualm to say. And that's a big statement, right? But he's absolutely right. Another reason we're not going to be able to sort of deal with that is because of the raw emotion that goes into the grotesqueness of the crime, you know, like, and so, like, when we're talking about drawing lines in sand, I guess, like, when I say I don't really care, I do care. Like, it's just about the deeper issues, you know, like, it's sort of, but man, super offended. Have you super offended anyone yet, perhaps?
Probably.
No, that you know of? Has someone been like, fuck, Pabs, you've gone too far?
Oh, dude, you ought to follow me on that Central Coast community page. I've upset a few people on there.
Yeah. Really? Dude, I want to see the highlights. Can we Photoshop it onto like the screen? Please, man. That'd be great.
Nah.
I love seeing you in an argument. It's fantastic. Hey?
All right. Well, look,
We've got
a very, very interesting way to end this episode.
Yes, we do. Musically, as music men.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a callback to
Men
earlier
of
today.
music.
So, like, this is a first time for the THO podcast.
Live performance.
You've brought Provoked back out of the fucking...
Provoked is the name of our group.
Yeah, that's right. Like, we're going to appear one final time alongside Little Bonesy.
Little Bonesy.
Right?
Yeah.
So Little Bonesy's basically got us a song, essentially.
Yeah, well, it was a beat that I made, right? That I sent across to you. You liked it?
Yeah.
And he's just whipped it up overnight.
Yeah,
right?
literally one night.
Literally wrote it last night.
Yeah, last night,
yeah.
Ready to perform. Now, Pabs and I are far lazier than Little Bonesy. So we're just going to kind of wing it. We're going to wing our version, referred to commonly as freestyle.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So, like, if we don't get a chance to... No, well, we will, because after we whip up this little production, right, we can tell the people a little bit about where they can find your music and more stuff about you.
Yeah.
Let's do this, shall we? Pabs, you tell me. Tell me when to hit the button, bro.
All right, give me a sec.
Rightio. Sorry,
All right.
folks.
Okay.
Very excited.
Yeah, man. I'm eager.
That's it.
Press the button.
All right, let's rock and roll. Are we going to hype it up a little bit? We'll give them a bit of hype. All right.
Yeah.
2020. It's fresh. What's up?
THO.
Little Bonesy.
Hey.
Brains MC.
MCLB.
Back in the picture.
Hi, look.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey. How will it go? Nobody knows. COVID-19 the way I bring these ill flows. Central Coast, yeah, it's my home. The streets I do roam. Antics of Adelaide, yeah, I do show. I always bring the flavour like oregano. My rap's ready to blow. I always got that ammo to murk a beat. So here's your box seat to the human observers and Little Bonesy. Podcast shows these. My flow is complete. I am a rapping athlete. I'ma make it to the top, I'm following my dreams, even if I have to take it to the extreme. My team armed and ready like a regime. Call of Duty the way we on that kill streak.
Yeah, ring the alarms. Look at the length of the hair on my arms. About the same as the size of the hair on my palms. It's back from Magilla, the gorilla, the fucking rhyme killer. Got no skiller left in the tank, but I still take the shit to the bank.
Lyrical attacks that I'm flowing and just listen to the beat and the fucking bass is unloading. I don't know how the fuck it's gonna end or even beginning, because the way that it's flowing out of my head is just gifted. I'm just thinking about this and thinking about that. I better end this rhyme now because I'm out of attacks.
Snap! Nice! All right, not enough to get signed, Pabs. I'm afraid we're probably out of it, bro. But Bonesy. Nice.
But I'll tell you what we'll do, right? We might produce that track.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll produce it in this studio. Yeah. And we'll write some stuff to that track. Why not?
Oh.
No?
Yeah, no, man. That was it's nice to sort of revisit an old skill set, right? And like I was saying, man, it's been about how long's it been, Pabs? Like, is it 10 years?
I guess
you reckon?
we have freestyled a bit, even.
Even then, bro.
But
even then,
very, seldomly, really. Yeah.
No, for real.
But I think we still got it.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit could do with some polishing, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So, Bonesy, man, tell us, where
do we
can these
find
good
you?
people find you? What can they do to help support you? Like, what's the buzz, man?
So you can like, subscribe, and follow on my YouTube and my Facebook and my Instagram. My Instagram is just Little Bonesy Official. My YouTube's just Little Bonesy, and same with my Facebook. Yeah.
Okay,
Sweet,
right
bro.
on.
And I'll tell
You
you
kept
what-
that real simple for people.
Yeah.
Very good.
We'll drop all the links into the
Yeah, man,
show
with the
notes.
episode. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
No,
Yeah,
all
bro.
good. All good.
Sweet as, bro.
Yeah.
Sweet as, man. Well, look, thank you, man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thanks for coming on.
Very
Right.
nice, man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I think, well, we better love these people at Leaford, right?
Yeah, bro.
So-
yep.
Until next week, welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me.